it's Nicole. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I have the newest collection from ILNP. This is their new Snow Day collection. This is a 6-piece set in the brand Studio Color line. ILNP's Studio Color line is a little bit different than their usual boutique polishes. The Studio Color line feature a rounded paddle brush, and polishes in the Studio Color line tend to either be creams or jellies. The Snow Day collection is available right now on the ILNP website, which I will of course have linked down below. For the first couple of days of sale, these polishes will be discounted by I think it's 10%. I will get more into pricing and sale information towards the end of the video. All of the polishes featured in today's video were gifted to me by ILNP. This video, however, is not sponsored. Thank you very much to ILNP for gifting me these polishes. As always, I will have all of the appropriate links down in the description box. If you enjoyed my ILNP swatch and reviews, don't forget to give this video a big ol' like, hype the video up if you have access to that feature, and I will get into all of the sale and pricing information towards the end of the video, and of course, there's timestamps in the description box. Let's get right into this one. The first polish up is called Cloudy Days. ILNP describes this one as a mid-toned gray cream. Cloudy Days had a really nice formula, as I find is fairly typical with this brand's cream shades. They do tend to be on the thicker side, but they almost always reach full opacity in 1 to 2 coats. Cloudy Days is not the exception. I found Cloudy Days had the perfect consistency, not too thick or too thin. Cloudy Days also self-leveled really nicely. I did find that this is a very cool tone gray shade. I feel like it's kind of similar to like a dry cement gray, but it has a bit of blue in it. It's a very cool tone of gray, at least to my eye. I did notice that this one dries down just a smidge darker than it initially applies, but not drastically different from the color that you see in the bottle. My swatches show Cloudy Days in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. This was just shy of being a 1-coater on me. As someone who really enjoys gray creams, I really enjoyed this shade because this is a cream. It's going to be super easy to remove. You can scrub this one off to your heart's content.
That's weird.
The next polish up is called Flurry, and ILNP describes the shade as a pale cornflower blue cream. Okay, I'm warning you now, the first coat of this polish is going to look rather rough. I did not have enough polish on my brush, so like I had a little bit of a struggle situation. I did find that Flurry was very much on the thicker side. I feel like this was just shy of needing nail polish thinner. Even though I did find that Flurry was for sure on the thicker side, I did still find that it self-leveled really easily and nicely. As is fairly typical in my experience with colors that are this light, it does not like to be overworked. I was able to reach full opacity with this shade in only 2 coats, but I do think if you have either longer nails or you, I don't know how to apply nail polish, I could foresee someone really struggling with the thickness of this shade. So if you don't add nail polish thinner to it, I could see a world in which someone would need 3 coats with this one because they overworked it. I feel like Flurry is like a winter bright. It's not so bright that I say, oh yeah, it's neon. I feel like it just has like an inner brightness to it all the same. In my personal opinion, I don't really feel like this is necessarily a cornflower blue. I feel like it leans very strongly towards like a periwinkle. I felt like in person I was seeing just like a tiny smidge of kind of like a purple tone in there. So I don't know, I feel like it's leaning towards periwinkle, but it's definitely in the blue family. And my swatches show Flurry in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. And again, super easy removal, scrub it off if you really want. And the next polish up is called Mittens. ILNP describes this one as a light rosy mauve cream. I found that Mittens had a fantastic formula. It applied very easily and it self-leveled very nicely as well. This was another one that I was able to reach full opacity in 2 coats. I agree with ILNP's color description for this shade. It is definitely kind of rosy, but also like a little bit in the mauve family. I feel like this is the kind of color that I remember seeing like a lot of in the drugstore for nail polish when I was growing up and hating every minute of it. I don't know. I don't like colors like this at all.
Not for me, mate.
I fully acknowledge that as someone who swatches nail polish, I have grown to like tolerate this color significantly more than I did like when I first started swatching, but this is still not like the color for me personally. But I do think if you like colors like this is definitely like a really good one to have. This is another shade that I did find dries down just slightly darker than it appears in the bottle. Not drastically so, but it is noticeable to my eye that it's just like a smidge darker. And once again, super duper easy removal because it is a cream shade. The next polish up is called Pull Over, and ILNP describes this one as a polar blue cream. I'm gonna put a picture here of what color I think of as like polar. I feel like it leans more icy. Hi, editing Nicole here. So today is apparently the day where I discovered that the color that I think of for a polar blue and the actual color of polar blue are 2 very different shades of blue. ILNP is correct. I am in fact wrong, so ignore everything I have to say about this color and it not being polar blue. I feel like to my eye, I would say Pullover is more of like a very dusty blue shade that has quite a bit of gray in it and towards like the darker end of a medium blue. I don't feel like it's so dark that I say, oh, it's dark blue, but I feel like it's medium, but on the darker end of the color spectrum for medium blues. I feel like Pullover had an absolutely fantastic formula. The consistency on it was fantastic and it self-leveled perfectly. I feel like Pullover has the kind of application that it kind of applies itself. Like the performance on it was absolutely fantastic. Again, this is not really a shade that I wear often myself, but I feel like I probably should. And because this is a cream, super easy removal and I had no issues with staining. I didn't have no issues with staining because it's a cream. I had no issues with staining because it didn't stain me. Yeah. Anyway, the next polish up is called Undercovers, and ILNP describes this one as a creamy ivory cream. Cream. Undercovers also had a fantastic formula. I feel like for this particular cream shade, this one seemed to have a bit of like a peachy undertone to my eye. Like I feel like in my studio lighting as well as like around my house, it was leaning very strongly towards like peachy. There was like no sunshine out when I did my natural light shots, and I feel like the overall lighting out there was very gray and just cloudy and just kind of cooler tone for lighting. So I feel like I kind of lost the peachiness when I brought this one to natural lighting, but I feel like if it was like a sunny day and the sun was coming on full on yellow, this would definitely look very peachy in natural light on me. Formula actually was pretty good. I kind of expected this one to be a bit, trash. Not fun. I don't have the highest opinions of anything that counts as like a white cream. But I did find this one was pretty good. I do, however, still think this is going to be a 2 to 3 color depending on your application style. While the polish does self-level really well, I just found that this is another one that if you overwork it, I could for sure see you having some issues with it. When I finished up my second coat, I let this one dry for a little bit longer than I let the other ones dry for because I just wanted to verify that it didn't kind of get more sheer as the polish dried down. I didn't find that the polish got more sheer as the polish dried down, but I did notice on like one of my nails that I did have like a little area that just had like a slight dark spot. So I feel like if I was the kind of person who wore white creams, I could see myself adding a third coat onto that one finger. So especially for those of you who have like uneven nails, ridges, etc., make sure to either get like a super smooth base with a really good ridge filler, or you're gonna likely have to go in for a third coat for this one. That's just my personal guess. But overall, Undercover is a good formula, super easy to remove as well. And the final polish in this release is called Woven, and ILNP describes this one as a tawny brown cream. Woven also had a really fantastic formula. This one applied super easily, super smoothly, self-leveled fantastically as well. As far as the color of this particular shade goes, I feel like this is kind of like a mocha leaning brown, and I feel like it leans towards like the neutral to cooler end of the spectrum. I often find because of my undertone, brown creams on my hand tend to make my hands look very kind of reddish. I did not have that for this shade, which is why I'm going with what I feel like this is like either like towards neutral or a cooler color. It doesn't seem to have any warmth in it. I didn't find that it kind of like made my hands look kind of red toned. I don't really foresee anyone needing more than 2 coats for this particular shade. Like I feel like it applies so nicely and evenly. I don't know, I feel like you'd have to actively really mess up application or have a really uneven surface to need more than 2 coats for this particular shade. And again, super easy removal, it is a cream. Alrighty, so final thoughts time. While I did find that the polishes themselves are really good in this release, this was not the release for me personally. I didn't really like love any of these colors. These aren't really colors that I personally gravitate super strongly towards. I do think that the color palette of this is very pretty and nice on the eyes, but these aren't the color creams that I personally reach for regularly, if at all. In case you were unaware, winter and spring tend to be my least favorite seasons as far as like typical colors for those seasons go. Largely the only reason why I really like winter collections tend to be because they tend to be glitter heavy or because of the color palettes in Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day, but overall winter is not like the color season for me personally. As far as pricing and sale information goes, the Snow Day collection is available right now on the ILNP website. ILNP also sells their polishes on Amazon and Etsy, and they do also offer international shipping. Each of the polishes in the Studio Color line are going to be priced at $10. For the first few days of sale, this collection will also be available at a slight discount. They'll be priced at $9 each. If you pick up all 6 polishes within the bundle from the ILNP website for the first couple of days, that's going to be priced at $54, but it's normally going to be priced at $60. I would love to know what everyone else thought of this release. Plan on picking it. Have you already picked it up? what do you think of like this type of color palette for winter? If you really enjoy ILNP, don't forget to check out my ILNP playlist, which I'll have linked in the description box, and hopefully remember to pin a comment with it. Before we end today's video, I want to give a very special shout out to my channel members. Shenanigans, Story fans, your names of course all on the screen right now. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, there's a link for that in the description box, or you can click join next to the subscribe button. But as always, do not feel pressured to do so. Just like the video, comment on the video, share the video. Also, if you like the vibes around here, don't forget to check out my Discord server. I don't say it in every video, but I feel like I don't say it often enough to remind people that it does indeed exist. Come hang out. We chit chat a lot over there. There's a little bit of nonsense. So just thank you all for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a lovely week, folks, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Ignore my cat licking her butt right now, please. Seriously, Stormy? Okay, at least you're not licking your booty. Oh, now you're back to it. Oh, Jesus.